Yeah, Salt is gonna jump in like halfway into the episode.
This is when we get our most like new listeners, and everyone's like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, the rest of the show isn't like this at all. Okay. Mm. Welcome back to Midnight Grappler Animals, home of Flub Nation. Welcome back to the off season. We've got a very special episode for you today. I'm your host Lan, and with me I've got two gentlemen that'll help me decide the future of DC's Batman comics. Keigen, Serg, how are you today?
I'm good.
Living the dream.
All right. So we have come up with a game. Don't be too scared. It's not that kind of game. No jigsaws involved. But with Chip Zdarsky and Jorge Jimenez and Mike Hawthorne and whoever else was unfortunate enough to work on that Batman run, coming to a close soon. And of course, there's going to be Hush 2 incoming. But after that, we don't know what's going to happen with Batman. But we figured, why not go all in for DC All In and look back at Batman's past to try and find some Z-list Batman villains that we can bring back to the forefront to serve as the linchpin for the next era of Batman comics. So all three of us, we went deep into the archives. We looked at villains that showed up maybe once or twice, and we are going to choose which one is going to be the one to debut in next year's new Batman run. We've got 16 villains here. We're going to go through each villain, say a little bit about who they are, where they came from, and then we're just going to go through and pit them against each other, see who comes out on top. Okay, so I've got the bracket here. Keigen, Serg, you have also got the bracket in front of you. We're going to go from top to bottom. We've all chosen our respective champions, and we are going to give just a very brief overview of who they are. So, starting off with the Anchoress, who is Keigen's pick.
Yeah, so the Anchoress might be the most recent character out of everything we picked. I think she's only had one appearance.
I think I've got one that's more recent, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Close to. So she was in New 52 Batman Annual 2. She checked herself into Arkham when it was still like a mental health facility, and then continued living there until everything went bad. She hates Batman for that, but she also can like become intangible and is super strong in some different ways, but she really just wants to chill in Arkham. That's like her whole goal. So yeah, I mean, just kind of a crazy old lady when she sees Batman, but otherwise like pretty normal, lives in the asylum. But I feel like you could cook from there.
All right. I think the next one is also yours.
Yep. So this next one is Professor Epstein. Okay. So
any relation to Jeffrey Epstein?
No. So this one's kind of interesting. Maybe. I guess I'll say maybe. I don't know. This is a teacher at Gotham University or whatever. I don't know. Rucka came up with him in Detective Comics 749, and he's like a side villain, I think. I think it's in an arc where he's helping with some kind of money laundering that a larger villain is doing. But he got whatever, an entry. So I'm like, all right, yeah, some professor there. He's smart, He gets out of prison, gets to run amok later. I don't know. All in.
Nice. So the next one is Serg's champion. Who did you pick first, Serg?
All right, my first champion is called Tom. He appeared in Shadow of the Bat 28. It's kind of a ridiculous name. It was kind of funny. I did some research. It's a little interesting. This guy was kind of like a quasi inspiration from Rupert Thorne in the animated series. Like they didn't want to use the same character, but like they were playing fun with it. So they try to create this like semi-normal guy who's like running like a labor union, but a mafioso. and kind of pulling the strings. So he was a recurring villain in the Shadow of the Bat a little bit. I don't know if he ever actually got a confrontation with Batman, but he just seemed like a really fun like idea of just a normal person opposing Batman in a very subtle way, kind of thing. So this was before we get like Hush and stuff like that too. So I thought that was a blast.
Nice.
So yeah.
Next up, we got another Keigen pick.
Yes, this is Orifice. So this is a Tony Daniel creation in his horrible. I've not even read it actually. The New 52, his New 52 Detective Comics run, and it's one of the dolls. And yeah, it's just got a bunch of holes. So
for a second, I thought you said Orifice. I was like, ooh, that's weird.
Oh,
like wow, they really went there.
Yeah. No, so Orifice, yeah, up and comer.
Okay, the next one's also yours. I think we're just knocking all of yours
got
out in this
all
first
the
half.
Keigans, all the Keigans.
The whole back half is going to be all Lan.
Yeah.
This one's actually, this guy's pretty known. Dr. Simpson. I think people know this one because he's super racist. He debuted in Detective Comics 354, and I think he like hangs out with Ra's al Ghul. He's among the League of Assassins. He gets used that way, and it's kind of crazy to be like way more racist than Ra's al Ghul. like so much more racist that nobody even thinks of Ra's al Ghul's racism.
Yeah, we
so
can always Orientalist harder.
yeah, exactly. So he's had more appearances too. So he'll be fun for someone to try.
Yeah.
So next up, we got another Serg one.
Yeah, this one. Speaking. We're on a racist bracket here. This is Frogman. He is a
not
French...
to be confused with Frogman from Marvel, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is he's a French stereotype, I guess. His real name was Raoul Villain, one of the few like real names. That's actually like the real name of a historic figure too, so kudos on like the little nod there. It's also kind of the perfect funny name for a villain, Raoul Villain. He was in Batman UK in the 60s. So I just saw that name. I was like, Frogman, French villain, I gotta put that on there.
You have to represent.
Yeah, it's so good. I had to put my shared country on there now.
Nice. Okay, I think this is the last Keigen pick for this bracket.
All right, yeah. So this one, not to be confused with Professor Epstein, is Dr. Epstein. Now, this one was made by Chuck Dixon, and it shouldn't be super surprising that it's real racist. He is maybe our latest in the racist entries. Just very, very Jewish stereotyped. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Epstein Batman villains are just kind of, it's timely, I think it's okay.
Is it possible to do them now in our sensitive times? I guess we'll put that to the test.
We need Bruce a brave writer to do it.
His best friend,
Yeah.
Maybe Bruce Wayne's best friend
turned wrong.
Yeah, I could see it happening.
So I've got the first one of my picks. This is Dr. Penitentiary. I had to really dig deep for this one. I had to go into the UK comics for this one. So this one's from DC Superheroes UK issue number 3, which came out in 1962. Dr. Penitentiary's whole deal is that he's an anti prison, like an abolitionist, but he does that by destroying prisons while there are still people in it. A very wacky villain, but it's a UK comic, right? So I guess they found some way to justify that. But yeah, that's my first pick. Next one, we got another Surge pick.
Yeah, this is White Ghost. Not to be confused with the Ra's al Ghul one relation. This one is by Frank Robbins, Batman 215. This one's, I think it was just a KKK member. Like it was just kind of like, I don't think they wanted to say that in it, but like it's just dressed that way, and they just called the White Ghost. And it was an older comic, so it was like 215, right? So he just like had a gun and robbed banks in these white sheets. It was ridiculous. So we're leading into the classic timely honor of cartoonish racism in Batman. So yeah, I had to throw them on there.
Nice. The next two are also yours. So
Oh, amazing. All right, so we got Vertebrat. Now this one was super funny. It's Dick Grayson Robin 2, 1999. So pretty recent, but this was one of those ones where like harkening back to Dick Grayson's circus days, like a kid that went the other way, like Dick Grayson. So Vertebrat's like a young trapeze artist type person who turns to crime using his skills to rob, and he has a circus theme because of course he has to have that circus theme, right? So that was a pretty like fun parallel and dark reflection of Dick Grayson. So I had to throw him on there too.
nice.
Yeah, I thought that was a good one. All right, I think you're up next with the Eraser.
I think the Eraser was yours, wasn't it?
No, that's mine.
Oh, it's
I am
yours.
the Eraser.
Oh, okay. So you can.
I am the Eraser.
Yeah.
We just erased you.
Erase your foolishness.
We
Okay,
erased your contribution.
Okay, the Eraser's kind of fun. So I actually ended up reading about the Eraser because I was like, so he's had a good number of appearances, especially multimedia. He's been in the Lego Batman. He was in Brave and the Bold. So he's obviously a stupid villain that people like to bring back frequently because he's just a pencil. His design's just a pencil. He's got a little eraser hat. So that's obviously fun. Fun to draw.
Yeah, that is fun. That
Yeah,
is super
yeah.
fun.
And like all he does is help people erase their like crimes or like
Amazing.
evidence of their crimes.
Oh,
So
man.
now in like his Comic Vine entry, it's like
Just revamped him into wearing a briefcase,
No,
carrying a briefcase
if you're
in a white
like-
suit.
if you're reading the Comic Vine entry of things, I'm not happy with my choices. But okay. They're like are so it's like full of hate. Not even for this character. But it's like this is that many fans consider this time period of Batman comics to be the absolute nadir of the character. It's like,
Jesus Christ.
it's so funny. So the Eraser first appeared in Batman 188, and apparently that's the worst Batman has ever been, and that makes me really happy. So I am all in on the Eraser. I am a big fan of this guy.
Incredible. Okay, I've got my second pick here. This is actually also from the Dick Grayson Robin run. It was actually a mini series. So like the last issue reveal in issue number 4 was that the person orchestrating all the events of the previous issues was actually a character called Acrocat. Real name Thaddeus Grayson. And if that name seems familiar to you, it's actually a gender flip of Thaddeus Grayson, which was the backstory that they gave to Dick Grayson back in like 1945. His other members of the family, one of them was called Thaddeus Grayson, but this one, Thaddeus Grayson, is strictly a villain. He's an uncle that also was a member of the Flying Graysons. And yeah, where Dick Grayson found heroism in his tragedy, that led Thaddeus Grayson to, take on a more evil persona. But again, with him being a last issue villain, he faded away pretty quickly after that. But yeah, I figured it would be an interesting way to bring that character back. Next up, I've got a very racist character from the 50s called the Oshkosh Fiend. This is exactly what it sounds like. It is a racist native villain from Detective Comics number 262. So 1958. This was in a backup story. There really isn't much more to say. It is just a villain from the Wisconsin area who is native and evil. I figured, I'm sure there's a way we can revamp that to be a bit more like an anti-hero, if they were to reboot it. So I'm gonna see if we can give Oshkosh Fiend a shot.
A racist anti-hero. What a great.
Well, hold on. We can make him an anti-racist. Like everyone else calls him the Oshkosh Fiend, but like
An anti-racist hero.
Yeah. Anti-racist anti-hero.
Nice.
We're really upping the ante here.
Yeah.
So next up, I've got another one, Anarchy 5. I was surprised that there were actually 5 people that took on the name of Anarchy. Like Keigen, I think you mentioned before the recording started that Clayface has like 5 people
5 and
with
a
the
lady.
5 and a lady. Okay. So yeah, I was surprised.
Premiering on ABC this fall. 5 and a lady.
Whoa. On ABC? I would think that would be somewhere else.
It's a
Somewhere more
suggestive
pay-per-view.
sitcom. Or it's gonna be Matt Reeves' new Batman spinoff.
Okay,
Just in clay faces.
On
The 5
ABC.
It's like
clay faces.
2.5 men, but like all clay faces.
Incredible.
These guys really don't know what to do with the Batman.
So Anarchy 5 is a weird case because the DC wiki, generally, it's not the best maintained wiki. So the debut was really in Swamp Thing Giant #1, like those Walmart comics that DC did. But the, I guess, chronological appearance was in Heroes in Crisis. Of course, Anarchy 5 was one of the villains that was killed during that whole thing. So you're wondering, well, it's a dead character. How do we bring him back? They always find a way. There's been like at least 2 or 3 crises since Heroes in Crisis. They can find a way to bring him back. So I'm choosing Anarchy 5. All right, Serg, what's your last pick?
My last pick comes from my man Chuck Dixon. It's
Oh,
El
boy.
Senor. Like,
Hell yeah.
I don't know what to say about this one. Like it feels like he just didn't want to use Bane again. This guy feels very much like a Bane knockoff. It was in his Nightwing run, so like he's kind of like I think he was gonna be a Bane for Nightwing, and then that plan was kind of scrapped. But like where Bane is like really buff, this guy isn't so big, but he's like clever too. So I think he appeared in a back panel of City of Bane. But it's like he's not a real thing. But like again, Chuck Dixon always gets harvested for all his work. So I thought, why not give this guy a shot to give himself the moment to shine?
Nice. Okay, so I've got my last pick and the last pick for this bracket here, Corporal Khmer. So this was a Cold War era creation. They tried their hand at it a few times actually before they finally found, I guess, moderate success with KG Beast. But Corporal Khmer, it's exactly what it sounds like, a former member of the Khmer Rouge that went to Gotham to stir up trouble. Debuted in Batman number 365, so this is 1983. I think with some of us going for the real, like, I guess, Orientalist or Yellow Peril villain type thing, I figured I'd go for a different kind of racial villain here. Again, these are very controversial picks, but I think if we can figure out a good angle, we can make these characters work. So there we go. So our matchups for this first round are the Anchoress versus Professor Epstein, Tom versus the Orifice, Dr. Sin versus Frogman, Dr. Epstein versus Dr. Penitentiary, White Ghost versus Vertebrat, the Eraser versus Acrocat, the Oshkosh Fiend versus Anarchy 5, El Senor versus Corporal Khmer. So let's go to our first matchup here, the Anchoress versus Professor Epstein. Who do we think is making it out?
I mean, what are you gonna say?
I feel like Anchoress in this pitch at least makes more sense. I don't know.
I don't know if she
Arkham's
can
been destroyed
listen,
15 times in the last 10 years.
I don't know
how
if
many
she could
Dr.
carry a
No's
new
do we
run,
have?
though. Like
This is Professor Epstein, not Dr. Epstein. Okay.
This is Professor.
Dr. Epstein's further down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I feel like Professor Epstein, you could really get something going on there with, like, the guy working behind the scenes and, like, handling all the money side of things. The Anchoress, I just don't know if you can get, like, a real, again, they really want this Batman comic to sell, right? And you want the villain to be, like, this very significant threat to Batman. Do you think there's any way we could actually like revamp her to make that the case?
See, my problem is I feel like The problem that's going to happen with Professor Epstein is he's either going to be an also ran, right? Or it's going to be a Hush situation where he just ends up being like the Riddler at the end of Hush. And either way, it's just kind of like, eh. I mean, he could be the Riddler of Hush too. You know, we could send that up to Jeff Loeb real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, this is kind of physical threat versus non-physical threat, I think.
Yeah,
So,
it's the psychological threat too, because like you know, there's a lot of psychology to what Professor Epstein could do. Also, I think it is like a very controversial pick, but I think it's the type of thing that will get people that don't read comics talking about comics, just to be like, oh, you know, the villain of the new Batman
for the
is
memes,
Professor Epstein.
That makes sense,
right?
I get that.
You know, let's
think
vote
like an
on
editor.
it. I am thinking like an editor. I'm putting on my.
I think you've convinced me. I think.
I think that pulled me over.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going Epstein. Yeah, that's
okay. You're going Epstein. We're going all in on Epstein then. Okay, so
Yeah.
Epstein is making it out of this first round.
Yeah.
All right, next up
Epstein
we've
beat
got
the old lady.
Epstein did beat the old lady. Okay, next up we've got Tom versus the Orifice. Okay, Serge, make your case for Tom, because I haven't read about this one.
I mean, I feel like Tom could be flipped a bit more. They had like this weird idea of him being like kind of like a labor mafioso type, but I feel like parallel to QAnon would be a lot of fun with someone like that. Where he's just kind of like this like ordinary internet type troll who just kind of like has amassed this weird amount of power that Batman has to like, you know. So like, but instead of like brainwashing citizens, a lot of times he's also brainwashing villains. So like it kind of plays with this idea too. That's what I thought would be fun with this, like to make villains kind of like moving at the behest of someone else, but like sort of like in a Hush way, but like less in a being manipulated like just to like get at Batman, more like being manipulated in a fake ideology kind of thing.
Okay.
All right,
Keigen, what's your case for the Orifice?
Okay. Here's my pitch for Orifice. First page.
There's no pitch.
First page, splash page, and it's Orifice eating bats in all of its holes. Her holes, their holes, I don't know.
Ooh.
Just first page, boom, eating bats. I don't even figure anything else out. We just hired an artist. That's all.
Okay. I mean, it's tough. I personally feel like there is more you could do with Tom. Just going off of what Serge said, and also I think like when you're thinking about the star power and the factor, you know, like just being like Batman's new villain is Tom, and everyone's like Tom, but who's Tom, right?
Kind of Kite Man situation. Is this what?
Yeah, kind of. I feel like they could.
It's like the opposite of Kite Man, where Kite Man was kind of a loser. This guy's like a loser who's actually kind of cool.
Well, Tom is also just a guy, you know.
Yeah,
like, I think that's the key thing where it's like it's the everyman versus Batman, and I think that's a tagline they could even go with, you know, like it's the everyman versus Batman.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so who are we voting for? Tom or Orifice?
I'm voting for Orifice, but you guys are
You're voting for
Orifice? Go ahead.
Okay, Serge, who are you voting for?
Oh man, I gotta vote for my boy Tom.
Okay. So I guess I have to be the tiebreaker here.
Yes, you do.
You know what? I think I'm gonna go with the Orifice.
Damn.
I feel like there's
upset.
Yeah, I know.
You're just
after
arguing
everything
for Tom too. I don't know.
I know. I had to do a little switch up there.
He didn't even say anything about the Orifice. He's just like, yeah, all right, I hear you.
That's kind of crazy.
Okay, next up we've got Dr. Sin versus Frogman. Keigen, make your case for Dr. Sin.
No, I'm not. I want Frogman to
win. Okay. Serge?
Raul Villain is just too good of a name not to use, I think, at this point.
Okay. True.
Especially if you make him look like Emmanuel Macron. I think it would just be like so good. Like a shorter kind of villain guy.
Very politically charged.
Yeah.
We could have
like
Jerry
he can
Dugan
fight, but he prefers not
to.
Yeah.
That's actually crazy. So is it a unanimous Frogman then?
That decision.
I mean, I do. I'm choosing Frogman too. So Frogman JV3'd Dr. Sin.
Yeah. Frogman moves Frogman leaps ahead, you know?
Leaps ahead. Okay, so
Yeah.
next up we've got Dr. Epstein versus Dr. Penitentiary. Keigen, make your case for Dr. Epstein, since you've already made your case for Professor Epstein.
Now, I mean, this is metagaming right here, right? But there's a chance for Epstein versus Epstein in the third bracket, which would be really funny.
But Epstein would also have to go up against Frogman next round.
And Tom. So, you know,
And
there's a
Tom.
lot. There's a lot happening there.
Well, no, hold
Stiff
on.
competition. Everyone likes the underdog.
Or Tom.
No, not Tom.
Or Tom.
Orphis. Orphis.
Oh,
Tom didn't
yeah.
make it past first round.
Sorry, Tom.
Yeah.
Dr. Epstein, I mean, honestly, kind of similar as in terms of like, do I see them as an actual real frontline threat? Not really. I don't see Dr. Epstein as much, though. I do like I don't know. I could see it. It's similar to Professor Epstein, though, to me, where it's like,
Yeah.
he's
And also, this
probably
one's
not-
the anti-Semitic one, right?
yeah. So
So much
You gotta
harder
put
to make a case
created
there.
by Chuck Dixon everywhere. So it is.
Whereas
what it
Dr.
is.
Penitentiary, I feel like you could really get something going on there, you know, like especially with recent years of Batman trying to go for a more social, or not
Yeah.
socialist, but like a social commentary, you
Social
know, like
justice.
with Batman losing. Yeah, exactly.
Frustrated by
Right.
Batman.
Where Batman already had him losing all his money aspect. Dr.
Yeah.
Penitentiary could be like, Batman, you know, everything that you're doing, it's all a vicious cycle, and like that, you know,
Woke
Dr.
gone
Penitentiary.
wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, like it's like Arkham. You know, I can see it now. The very first issue of this, you know, you see Dr. Penitentiary, and then you know, the tagline is Arkham Breakout, or like
Nice.
Oh, yeah, he just
Um,
destroys Arkham again.
yeah, it
That's-
destroys Arkham. You know, like it's a great explosive
could
way
start
to start the run,
Yeah.
right?
Another
Arkham
run
just always
with
gets
destroying
destroyed
Arkham.
in every.
Yeah, for the last 10 years.
It's like, why do we keep building this?
Okay, so which one do we want to go for, Dr. Epstein or Dr. Penitentiary?
I'm going with Penitentiary.
I think Penitentiary, it's got to be the case.
Okay, Penitentiary, another JV3. Okay, so now we've got White Ghost versus Vertebrat. So I think these are both Serg's picks here.
Yeah, yeah. It feels weird. White Ghost feels like, I don't know if anybody wants a white supremacist villain. You know, so I'm like, even though you could like revamp it to be someone like Richard Spencer or something like that. I
But
don't know
is
how,
DC
you know,
bold
Yeah, I
enough to
feel
do
like
that,
I'm-
though?
yeah,
I feel like
You
I'm
know,
taking
that's my
the
Yeah.
opposite stance, though. I feel like we should have more white supremacist villains, you know? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like
I feel
that
like
would be
that's what
good.
my heart says, but I don't know if that's what they would do. You know, like,
Mm.
I mean, how much it
I
would,
don't-
it would be a little bit funnier if they didn't lean enough into it, right? Like,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, like if they had to
not
stay their hand to
on
be
purpose.
like, or like try to both sides it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
he's making good points.
They won stuff for Superman Smashes the Klan also. Like, that's recent.
Yeah.
This
But
isn't-
like
this
that's
isn't a
see,
total-
Superman smashes the Klan. That's like a separate side thing, right? Like this is the mainline Batman run. I don't know if they wanna like hinge their
I'm gonna
run
make
Yeah.
them.
on.
I'm gonna make them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean,
okay.
so that's my pitch. Like, I think it could work if you like, especially if you made him like a Richard Spencer type white supremacist. I think that'd be a lot of fun to play with. Like
Right.
not a old cheat kind of guy. Like maybe it's his son or something. As far as Vertebrat
Ooh.
goes, I think you could do like a Bucky treatment with him, where he's kind of had again the more parallel. So he's like a Tommy Elliott, but like grown up now. So like Dick Grayson's like, oh, I remember you from my childhood. He's like, yeah, and I'm back. And it's like,
Kind of evil.
But
he's still
Now,
calling himself
is-
Vertebrat. Yeah,
is
he still calls himself
this-
Vertebrat for reasons. But
Is-
you know,
But
it's
is this
like-
hinging on Dick Grayson being Batman for the next run though? Because like I feel like if it's just, you know, Bruce Wayne versus Vertebrat, and there is no like association there, you know,
I
think
mean,
it'll be a bit more difficult.
I think it'd be how depending on how they did it. I mean, if they did like a thing where Dick Grayson's being pulled into something and Batman has to like protect him, and it's Vertebrat like is like this overarching villain in it, It'd
So
be
you're saying
fun,
like a
you know,
team
like
up for the first
yeah,
first
like a
arc.
team up series where like they're jumping into it and they're both remembering like the back in the good old days, quote unquote, of when they were teaming up
Mm.
before. So it's kind of play with that. I feel like that would be fun because that's again like playing with like the idea of like him being like this older, more innocent type figure that's not really that. So yeah, that'd be my pitch for Vertebrat at least.
If we're going full editor brain here too, I feel like the vertebrat issues, like those are in the 90s, right? So I feel like it's much easier for people to go into back issue boxes and find issues of that. I'm talking specifically like appealing to the speculator market, right? I feel like it would be much easier with Vertebrat than it would be with White Ghost, where I feel like a lot of the White Ghost issues are, if they're still around, they're probably like,
collectors,
waterlogged and right. So, that's a tough one. Okay,
That's
so who
true.
are we gonna go for
What you
that
got,
one,
Keigen?
I feel like there's a lot more thought was just pitched for Vertebrat. But I still think like if a similar amount of thought was put into White Ghost, I feel like that would be a good end of the line villain. Like white supremacist Bane would be cool. Like,
I mean, it would be a great way of getting them in the news too, right? Like, think about it. Batman's latest villain is a white supremacist. Batman fights white supremacy. Ooh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so Keigen, who are you going with?
See, I'm going first, so I don't even know if my vote's a spoiler vote. But I'm just gonna go White Ghost.
White Ghost?
I'm sticking with my white boy.
Sticking with your white boy. That's your white boy.
White boys. White boys have it.
That's your white boy. Okay. Serg, who are you going with?
I think I'm gonna go White Ghost. I'd love to see an anti-racist like storyline in Batman, and I think they could do it. Even if they did it like not as hard as I'd want them to go, they could still do it in a way that's semi-satisfying. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go that way.
Okay, so in that case, I am gonna have to be the spoil vote. I am gonna go vote for Vertebrat, but I've
Get a
been
point on the board
outnumbered.
for him.
It's a point on the board.
Yeah.
So White Ghost is moving on. So next up, we've got the Eraser and Acrocat. So I'm gonna have to come back with a vengeance for Acrocat then if we're not using Vertebrat. Keigen, make your case for the Eraser though.
Listen, I think the Eraser is my favorite villain on this list. Just actually, he just the idea of like now here's my problem. I don't think he would be a main villain, but I do think you could pepper him in enough that I would like him
But
more.
remember,
than
this
Kite
is
Man.
supposed to be
Also,
the linchpin. It's supposed to be the linchpin of the new era.
I think
right?
maybe remember that Marvel Netflix shows all had Turk in them?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm pitching Eraser Man as the Turk. He shows up in all the things, and he's just like a little villain that nobody's really taking out. He's just kind of going around and he's helping keeping people out of jail, and then maybe that builds. Maybe that builds. A year, 2 years down the line, this continues happening across different books, and then he becomes like there's people who are subservient to him at this point, where he's just like, I've just built up power. Like, I don't know where this
making
came
moves
from.
in silence.
Yeah, like exactly. I'm just kind of
but we also have to remember the Eraser is from one of the arguably worst periods of Batman's history.
The Nadir, which is why our comeback is bigger than our setback.
But I mean, the person who said that.
I'm not worried about where his come is. Okay, I don't need to worry about that stuff.
So you say all that, but hear me out for the Acrocat case here. Fatherhood, I feel like, is a pretty big part of Batman's character nowadays, right? Damian Wayne, Jason Todd, Dick Grayson, the others, right? And I feel like bringing Thaddeus Grayson in as like the former father figure to like be a foil to Batman would be a much better way, where it's like, Thaddeus Grayson is coming back after so long to re-enter Dick Grayson's life, and that is also like a two-pronged approach, right? Where it's like no one knows that Thaddeus Grayson is Acrocat for like a solid 5 issues, right? So Batman's fighting Acrocat, but Bruce Wayne is fighting Thaddeus Grayson over like the custody of Dick Grayson, almost like emotional custody of Dick Grayson, where the nature of the adopted family or the found family is really like put into focus. And I feel like you could really get a good emotional core going there if you went with Acrocat. So that's my case. Like I feel like Acrocat is a really good villain to hinge an emotional core to if you really want to bring in that sort of like prestige feel to Batman again.
Now, here's how do you do that without undercutting anything with Dick, right? Because like
I mean, you have to give
villain.
Dick agency, right? So I think like Dick is going to be the deuteragonist of the run in this case, where it's not just Batman, it's also Nightwing that's
So
being
then
affected by this.
In the like final conflict, right? The real end of that conflict has to be Dick choosing one side or the other, and that being his victory. And so you have to sell that in a Batman comic. That's cool.
I mean, it's
cool.
not just that. It could also be like the launch point for a strife between Batman and Dick, or Batman and Nightwing for the next arc, right? Where it's like, if it ends with, I don't know, like Thaddeus dying or whatever, right? Like that's gonna cause some emotional strife between the two of them. So like again, very, very ripe for potential there.
Heard.
Interesting.
Good pitch.
Duly noted. Okay, so who are we going with, the Eraser or Acrocat?
This is hard.
I've been the first voter, so I will vote first. And
okay.
I mean, like, your pitch is better as the main villain than the
yeah.
It is.
I was sold on the Eraser up until the end when you said like this is the arc pitch. And where it's going.
Like, but like, man, yours is a better pitch for like a year of comics too. Like,
yeah.
And again, the Eraser situation doesn't have a first year main villain anyway.
I mean, the Eraser, you have to really wait for that payoff,
Yeah. And so like I'm comfortable going with Acrocat. Like that, in this situation, I think Acrocat makes sense.
Okay. Serg?
Yeah. I gotta go Acrocat at that.
Okay,
I got sold on that pitch. That was a thing of beauty. Well done.
Thank you. Okay, so the next two are also mine. Oshkosh Fiend versus Anarchy 5. Oh my god, I have to make a case for both of these now. Okay, so Oshkosh Fiend. I mentioned this one before, right? Like we can flip the concept on its head, make it a native anti-hero where it's not that he is villainous like in the traditional sense, but like he's villainous as in he's an opposing force to Batman, right? Like he's trying to undo a lot of Batman's operations in the city, really like pointing towards the social justice side of things again, where it's like the surveillance state, the occupation of Gotham in a way. You can even bring back like elements of like Gotham as a colonial state too, right? Like how was Gotham founded? Like what land was Gotham founded on? But of course, like we can also have like the news spin, I guess we can have two different names. We'd have to come up with a second name, of course. But the Oshkosh Fiend is what, Gotham's news channels all call him. So that's my pitch for Oshkosh Fiend, where it's like we really flip the concept on its head to talk more about social justice and Gotham's history. Anarchy 5, that's a tough one, because I feel like Anarchy 5, again, you have to do the resurrection thing, right? But I feel like if you're going to do the resurrection thing, it would be an interesting way to bring in the Lazarus Pit, where Ra's al Ghul wants to like sow or foment chaos within Gotham, right? So they need an anarchy that they can control. So they, resurrect Anarchy 5, put, I guess, what's the word? Indoctrinate him into the League of Shadows and like use them as a tool of chaos. And I guess you can talk about like political interference and like proxy wars that way. Yeah, that's my pitch for Anarchy 5 though.
I feel
these
like
both of these are kind of tough for me, honestly.
I feel like that doesn't quite like that's gonna be a Ra's al Ghul story at the end, right? Kind of like the
Right,
same way
right.
that Arkham City is,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like at the end of the day, that's a Ra's al Ghul story, and that's what makes it better. And so like what I think you need an extra little tilt of anarchy
Right.
toward
Or
the
we
middle,
have
toward
the
the end.
original Anarchy come back and be like, this isn't what I was fighting for, like have an
Nice.
Anarchy versus Anarchy fight going on there.
Anarchy on
That's
anarchy
crazy.
action.
Yeah.
All right, I've been going
Um,
first. Are you ready for voting, or you have
yeah,
any
I'm ready
more?
to, yeah, let's
No,
hear it.
I was leaning anarchy because like anarchism's cool.
Mhm.
And like I think as much as everything gets like anarchism incorrectly in a political stance, I'm also like just do more of it because it's cool. So I am gonna go with anarchy
Nice.
because also that pitch sounds sick. So
Okay. Search?
I think I got to go Oshkosh Fiend. I think that one was a much more interesting pitch. As much as I like Anarchy
okay,
too, it's like
Okay.
Oshkosh Fiend. Yeah.
okay,
Oh.
Rom V fan over here.
Hey, Anarchy is the one with the V in his name,
I know,
so
but your pitch is your pitch on Oshkosh Feed is very similar to what Rom ended up doing with Detective.
oh,
So
see, I
that's
haven't
all.
read
That's
that
why.
run, so now that you've
Yeah,
said that though,
not
oh.
very similar, but there's stuff there. There's
You know,
similarities there.
now that you've said that, I think I'm gonna go
Look at
with
him tip
Anarchy
the scales.
5.
Look, he just puts his finger
Yeah.
on the scale and
I absolutely
Yeah.
did. I knew what that was gonna
dance
do.
puppets, dance.
Yeah, you got me there. I guess I am gonna have to
Oh
go for
man.
Anarchy
I
5.
knew how that would
Okay.
affect things. Peace and
Okay.
love.
Okay. Anarchy
Oshkosh
5,
Feed
moving
didn't
on.
need
Yeah.
he didn't need to be brought back.
I feel like there is a world where or Oshkosh Fiend can really
Yeah, your
work.
pitch. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
It'll take a while. I think maybe with the current era of DC Comics, maybe not, but yeah, in another world. Okay, we've got our last matchup for this round: El Senor versus Corporal Khmer. Serge, make your case for El Senor.
Um, I guess the biggest pitch is that we've seen Bane in so much at this point. It'd be fun to do something similar with someone else, I guess a different person to step up again in it. Chuck Dixon is always getting harvested for works and ideas. But it'd be fun to take someone like that, which isn't as like well defined and thought out, and just kind of revamp them in another way with it. So yeah, you could have a lot of fun with that. That's kind of my pitch. It's not really a strong one. I don't really feel as strongly about seeing like a Latin stereotype be refixed, but
Well, I mean, you're going up against a Cambodian stereotype, so it's gonna be
yeah.
it's gonna be an interesting one.
So you're like, no, I really hate the Cambodians. So I'm just kidding.
Okay, so Corporal Khmer, again, Red Scare villain. But it's not to say that's it's not possible. Like, it's not an impossible character to bring back. I think, with KG Beast having shown up very, very recently, it's very possible to bring back Corporal Khmer. And also, I think you can put an anti-imperialist bent on it, where you can talk about the US's campaigns in Cambodia through this again, we could make him another anti-hero or an anti-villain even. Again, more social justice, more reckoning for Batman. So yeah, I think that's going to be my pitch for Corporal Khmer. So I guess we'll put it up to a vote then.
All right. I think the hard thing about El Senor is that it's like, really, how's he not gonna just be an also ran to Bane?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
Yeah.
It feels like any pitch you do with him has to involve Bane, and that's just gonna be such a tricky tiptoe. Whereas we got it's just blue skies for Corporal Khmer. So I'm going with him.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Serge?
Lo siento.
Yeah, I think I gotta go with Corporal Khmer actually on this one because KG Beast has had some life still, so I think like people still kind of have this kind of fun idea of seeing bygone characters revamped in a way that's not just cartoons. But like you said with El Senor, it's just like tied. It's just too much a Bane thing to like not have that involved in some way. I think that gets in the way of it.
Okay. So Corporal Khmer, because that's going to be my pick too. Corporal Khmer is moving on to the quarterfinals. All right, we've got our quarterfinals now. 4 matchups. The first matchup we've got is Professor Epstein versus Orifice. Who is going to make it on? We've already made our case for like what we think these characters are going to be, but I guess we might as well just put these characters, straight up against it. Who do you think is going to be a better villain?
Yeah. I mean, like, I think Orifice having an actual design, Professor Epstein, I don't even think he has a costume. I think he's just a teacher.
I mean, you can still give him a costume. Well, I mean, it's weird because like Max Lord doesn't really have a costume, right? But everyone knows Max Lord when they see him. Yeah,
that's true. I just think like in terms of like, I guess that's the whole thing. It's update versus not update, right? Or even with Orifice, it's like I feel like you could go in either direction of like making them like an Ennis sort of villain, where it's just like it's kind of messed up. Or you could go like the Snyder route.
Really like
you could go the Snyder route of like each orifice is a black hole, like ridiculous.
Yeah,
and it's like it could be up to the it could be okay. It doesn't have to be that, but like you could just tie it either way, right? You could go different directions depending on the creative team. I feel like it's more open ended than Professor Epstein. But Professor Epstein's way funnier, so I'm gonna go Professor Epstein.
Serge?
Yeah, I was thinking Orifice just because it's like I think there's a horror angle there that would be a lot of fun. A lot of writers would love to get behind that. I think,
there's
depending on the
there.
Yeah, and I think that's an angle we've seen a little bit of Batman pop up here and there, but never really like centered with a villain, just like being the horror figure. So I think that's like why I'm gonna vote for Orifice. They might need to change the name. I don't know. That's up to them.
I mean, listen, if they are going to change the name, I feel like there's no point in bringing the character forward, right? So I think that's why my vote is going to be for Professor Epstein. Oh, sorry, Keigen, what were you going to say?
No,
Are you going to find a way to change my vote?
No. The Orifice is part of the horror, like,
right.
Yeah.
No changing the name.
It's kind of like the Blob, right? The weird name is.
I think Orifice is scarier though. Put something in an orifice. That's kind of messed up. We all do it though, right?
I mean, I guess we do. But I think I am going to go for Professor Epstein, just because I feel like there's much more you can like do. I guess in terms of marketing.
Imagine his island, like
like imagine the climax of the arc is that Batman has to fight him on his own island, but like the whole point is they don't call it Epstein's Island, right? Like they have to call it like
just is an island,
hokey superhero bullshit.
It's a peninsula. It's a peninsula.
Professor Epstein's peninsula.
Yeah,
that's so much worse. Oh my god.
Big St. James.
Okay. Frogman versus Dr. Penitentiary.
Oh, this one's actually difficult.
Oh, this one's tough.
This is actually hard.
This one's really tough.
Oh man.
You want me to talk about Frogman?
Yeah. I mean,
so I kind of see him as a Jean-Claude Van Damme type character, who's a little smaller, a little more like he doesn't look like he's built, or he doesn't look like he can fight. So like it's almost more of a surprise. Like he's kind of like a more gentleman, a more polite type figure, and then it turns out like he's just every bit the martial artist Batman is too, and he's like also this polite business person. So he's like Emmanuel Macron, where he's kind of just power hungry, in a way where he's a bit smaller. So I think that would be fun, like someone who's not like physically intimidating but still can fight and throw down as a villain.
Did we create Batroc the Leaper in aggregate? Is that
yeah,
is
and the swordsman too, right? Like it feels like
all the European.
Not only that, the Marvel European, while using a character who is like one dash away from being a Marvel character.
Yeah. Even Batroc the Leaper, like Batroc the Leaper's French too, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It works.
So it really just feels like we failed this pitch to Marvel, so now we have to bring it to DC. Like, I feel like Frogman can go all the way at Marvel, maybe under a different name, but like, maybe, I don't know.
Maybe whoever made Frogman was just like looking over there, like it's not anyone.
That's happened too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's not like these companies never borrowed from each other.
Yeah, I mean, like, Red Lion during the Chris Priest Justice League run.
Namor and Aquaman.
Yeah. That's a tough one. Okay. Dr. Penitentiary, though, like, I mean, come on. Everything that I said before, I think I'm gonna stick with my boy, Dr. Penitentiary.
I think the real breaking line for me here is that I think Frogman is that like Stiltman level of villain. Kite Man,
but that's not a villain you can really headline a new hero with, though.
It's not.
It's the eraser problem again.
Frequently. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I can actually see Dr. Penitentiary being a real villain. And so I am going to go Dr. Penitentiary.
Dr. Penitentiary. Okay.
Peace to my boy Frogman. I did love him.
R.I.P.
I betrayed a lot of my loves here.
I know.
It's crazy what a good pitch can do.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up we've got White Ghost versus Acrocat.
I think I'm already ready to vote.
Really? Okay.
Do you guys need refreshers?
I mean, I don't need a refresher. I know what White Ghost thing is, but I think I'm gonna stick with Acrocat. I have to like.
I'm sticking with Acrocat too.
I was really
good pitch for Acrocat. It's really frustrating.
Acrocat's gonna fly to the finale just through sheer pitch power.
Yeah,
it's a really good pitch. It's a really good pitch.
It's solid. I was gonna go with my boy, but I've already lost, so
okay,
let's keep going.
Okay, Acrocat's moving on then. Okay, so now here's another tough one. Anarchy 5 versus Corporal Khmer.
Ooh.
This one's actually kind of easy for me because like they're gonna lose.
Yeah, I feel like that's right. No matter who wins here, they're gonna lose to Acrocat.
So it doesn't really matter. Poor babies. It's unfortunate. It's like if the Pelicans ended up in the playoffs. Like you guys you're not a serious.
You're not going anywhere. Yeah. You're just happy to be in the party. You just happy got invite.
Okay. So who are we putting up? See, now it's like putting up a sacrifice, Like,
yeah.
Who are we putting up to sacrifice
who
against Acrocat?
Who would be funniest to pit against Acrocat?
Yeah. I guess I'll go Corporal. I'm going with the Corporal.
Yeah,
Corporal
I think I'm going to go with Corporal Khmer just because it would be funnier to... like when you look at the grand scheme of this chart, I think it is really funny to see Corporal Khmer make it 2 rounds.
Yeah, that is really funny.
Yeah, okay, so Corporal Khmer is moving on. And that's the end of our quarterfinals then.
Oh my goodness.
So our
East versus West
semifinals...
coming up.
Oh boy. Okay. So our semifinals, we've got Professor Epstein versus Dr. Penitentiary and Acrocat versus Corporal Khmer. So let's start with Professor Epstein versus Dr. Penitentiary. Oh, okay. This one's actually the tough one. God damn.
Island versus prisons.
See, like whoever we pick here has to be a good a good, not only that, like a good opponent to Acrocat, right? Like whoever we pick here has to be good enough to go up against Acrocat.
The Acrocat lore has just built is the problem. Is the
I mean, you can build lore around like Professor Epstein, you know, like again, former business partner of Batman, new Thomas Wayne, right? Like funded Arkham Asylum. Damn. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I thought
That was savage. That was so savage.
So what you're saying is
you came
Dr.
up with- You came
Penitentiary.
up with one good one, okay? You came up with a
Yeah.
good one already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lightning doesn't need to strike twice.
I do feel like Dr. Penitentiary has a better case here. Better. I can see how this is a main villain angle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Serge, what do you think?
I'm thinking Dr. Penitentiary could like definitely carry more, I think, than Epstein. Epstein has to have a little more around him to like truly flourish.
Yeah, I think
As
also
weird-
from a
as-
marketing perspective, there's a lot more effort that needs to be put into making him marketable.
Yeah. He's got a marketing problem, not Epstein.
Yeah, surprisingly enough.
The
Batman's
financier?
big PR problem.
Jeff Epstein.
Every single issue has to have like a tagline that says "not that one."
Yeah.
Okay, it's not bad.
Um,
You could lean into this kid.
yeah, you know what? I will have to go with Dr. Penitentiary too.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the sensible choice.
Yeah.
Will no one stand up?
No,
for
but he made it
Epstein?
this far though.
No.
He did
He
make it this far.
He put a good effort.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unlike Corporal Murr, who has to go up.
Salt appears purely to defend Epstein.
He's present for.
Let that be what I'm known for.
He just signs out. I'm out.
It's the opposite thing. It's like, yeah, I really didn't like his financier stuff, but his pedophilia.
All right, so Acrocat versus Corporal Khmer. We already know which one's making it out of this round.
Yeah, Acrocat.
Damn,
Move
Acrocat.
forward.
Move forward.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got Dr. Penitentiary versus Acrocat for this final round.
Ooh, that's a hard one.
What are we doing? Who is gonna be the headliner for the next Batman run?
I do feel like Penitentiary has a clearer series of conflicts, right? Acrocat
yeah.
has like a very clear origin start point and then an obvious end point, and then it's easy to pepper things in, but it's like every Batman run you need challenges all throughout the run. Right?
I mean, you could do like what they did with the first Spider-Man game where like he's funding and feeding other villains too, right? Like again, in the original run, Acrocat was like the mastermind behind the other villains in that miniseries, right? Like he was paying Vertebrat, you know, like he was bankrolling a lot of the operations. So we could do something similar here.
Now, the other thing is, the other difficult thing here is it feels like, it feels like Court of Owls a little bit, except for the only twist is that like the Thomas reveal at the end is both like not, there's no actual closure on it, right? And then it like reframes the whole thing, right? Whereas like here you see it up front and it still continues throughout.
Though the thing here is that like there is no like underground society element here.
I
where it's,
mostly
like, it is very much
mostly
like
just mean like Batman wrestling with his history is present all throughout Court of Owls. And
right.
then
Though
at the
in this
end,
case,
it's like,
this
it's
isn't
Dueling
Batman's
Brothers.
history, right? Like it is
Yeah.
Dick Grayson's history.
See, but that was part of my thing in the first round was like, is this really a Batman story? And like it is, and you made a good pitch for why it's a Batman story. But if you lean too far toward Dick Grayson, then it stops being a Batman story as much too. Which I don't have a problem with. Editorial does though.
Right. I guess in that
Those are
case,
twins.
it's really more about like Batman and Nightwing's history too,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
And
I
which is
feel,
like, I feel like you look at the runs across the last 10 years, and none of them have to do with the family. It's all Batman stories.
right,
you know?
right. So this would
we
be a
have
good
a Batman and Robin
realignment in
like
that case, I feel.
Yeah,
Because, like, it's
that's
not
true.
just that, but, like, this is a good opportunity to also bring the other members of the Batman family forward, just to be like, well, if Dick is leaving the family, then, what does that mean for the rest of the family? Like, how do they have to grapple with that fact, right?
Yeah.
Um,
It would be a
Yeah.
big realignment, but I still think both of them have opposite problems of pitches, where Dr. Penitentiary on one side has the big action conflict, but not the interpersonal thing, and then
right.
Acrocat has the interpersonal thing, but it doesn't have the big overall conflict. And I think the big overall conflict would be with him would have to be fabricated to a degree, right? And that's why stuff like League of Assassins and Court of Owls both work, I think, or even like Batman Inc., right? All those things work because both of those things don't feel as fabricated. They both feel like, but it's because they're fighting a game, basically, right? Like they're fighting
Right.
a villain at the head of a game. And so it
I mean,
really
we could
feels
do
like
the same thing here,
opposing.
right? Where it's like Acrocat is the head of a society of, I don't know, circus themed
Or
villains.
Why could, but like Penitentiary could too, though, right? Like, and
I mean, I feel like
I think
Penitentiary has to be
Acrocat-
a lone wolf, though, right? Like my thing with Dr. Penitentiary is like it feels like something where if he has any support, it's because there are other people who are into like the whole prison abolition thing, where
I guess
he'll pick up stragglers. But I feel like if we're talking about like organized efforts,
I mean, the other
don't
thing
know.
is just Dr. Penitentiary just like unleashed a lot into the city by destroying a jail.
Yeah.
So like
right.
So like there is an implicit gang angle there that's almost like more chaotic because it's not organized, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like
and that's my thing is like it's a lot easier to just cook up an interpersonal angle for him. You have the big problem set.
I mean, you could also like tie it to Batman's history too, where it's like a member of Dr. Penitentiary's family was someone that Batman got locked up, and like because of that, he completely annihilated Dr. Penitentiary's family's I don't know, like livelihoods or whatever.
I mean, even just the whole Batman has trouble relying on others in this situation where he's clearly overwhelmed. It'd be fun to that's never get tired. That never gets tiring. He's got this family that he never relies on.
Yeah, I mean, especially for really pushing that like riot angle where like he's got people from every single corner coming at him, right? Because like a lot of the people that Dr. Penitentiary ends up freeing are people that have some sort of grudge against Batman. So I think like trying to like fend that off while also dealing with the villain, I think that would be really, really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think even like him just having to fight, like trying to fight ordinary people, but be overwhelmed by the sheer number of them would be like a super crazy angle to go with that.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so who's gonna be our victor?
I'm voting Penitentiary right now.
I'm voting Penitentiary too.
Okay, Salt, who are you voting for?
Dr. Penitentiary.
Dr. Penitentiary. I'm gonna go for Dr. Penitentiary too.
So
with a clean sweep.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Acrocat was sweeping
twist.
every single round except the last one.
What a surprise.
That's both, dog.
I mean, Dr. Penitentiary had some competition, like Professor Epstein.
He had a harder path to victory.
Yeah.
And like really wasn't fleshed out either. Like Acrocat has his whole thing.
Like Dr. Penitentiary, it took until like the semifinals and the final to really like flesh him out.
That path to victory.
What a path to victory.
As chaotic as Dr. Penitentiary himself.
Oh.
The worst thing about this is that we have to now bring a UK character into mainline DC Comics.
They'll reprint it now. You know what? That's what
facsimile edition.
Oh.
Facsimile edition of DC Superheroes UK, issue number 3 from 1962. DC, you've got our number. You've got our email, actually. MidnightGrapplerAnimals@gmail.com. Email us. Let us know. As for the viewers at home, listeners, if there's anything that you think we made the wrong decision on, if you think that El Senor should have swept this entire bracket, let us know in the comments or email us or like at us on Bluesky or whatever. Tell us, are you a Dr. Sinsin truther? Are you a Professor Epstein fan? Are you a defender of Dr. Epstein? Let us know. Before we do our Tastemakers grab bag, we've got to tell you that this show is made possible thanks to viewers like you. If you want to support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/Midnight Grappler Animals. Episodes a week earlier than the public for only $2 a month. And for $5 a month, you can get our entire backlog of bonus episodes and Patreon exclusive series, as well as exclusive channels in our Discord server. Please give us a good review on your podcast app of choice. If you really liked this, let us know. You can tell us at our email, midnightgrappleranimals@gmail.com. Again, the off season, we're experimenting. We're really just trying to do whatever we want, see what sticks. So let us know what you think. If you want to find the links to our Discord server as well as our Bluesky pages, you can find that in the description of this episode. All right, Tastemakers grab bag. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I only have one. I might have actually months ago already recommended it, but it's coming out this week. So it feels like a thing. Oh, this week, not when this comes out though. So I'm reading it for a review, and it's the One Hand and the Six Fingers. They collected it all together, and it's really cool. So it's presented completely differently than it was when it came out. Right? It was two minis.
Interesting.
They published it like Hoxpox, basically. So it is in order, but it's issue 1, issue 1, issue 2, issue 2. But they don't say what issue anything was. It's just chapter 1 through 12. So it's cool. I like it. Really good though. It wears everything that it is on its sleeve very clearly, but I don't think of it any less than because of that. And the transition between artists is really cool. Reading it all together like this too really shows the rhythm that the whole both creative teams had as they were telling the story, and it's a really well made thing. It's right after Hoxpox, everybody did the data pages and everything like that, and it's all right, that's cool, whatever. That's already kind of petered off. It's not happening at all anymore. But this is the kind of thing I wanted to see, where somebody did dueling minis that are actually one book, but you could read them separately if you really wanted to, which isn't really the case with Hoxpox, but even still, it's a cool thing. It's a cool experiment. I am happy to be rereading it, and yeah, I recommend it. So if whenever this comes out, this should be available in a shop or however you get your comics, and grab it, and it's cool. It's good.
Nice. Serg.
All right. It's going to sound really goofy because I might be one of the last people to discover or to watch it. I'm finally watching The Sopranos. I got through season 1.
Okay.
I'm finally in the headspace. I'm able to devote the time to it. Yeah, it holds up. It's good. It's if you haven't seen it yet, all 6 of us in the world, check it out. If you have seen it, I'm sure it feels very rewatchable. So yeah, it's just good, solid television. I started watching after Penguin because it just felt like the Penguin felt a lot like The Sopranos, from what I knew about The Sopranos. So I was let me just watch the original. So it's good. It's fun.
Nice. Salt?
I also have a show that I'm kind of late to. I finally watched The Curse.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Both of you guys. This is great.
Fantastic. Some fantastic recommendations going on this episode.
Listen to how happy Keigen is too. That's the real bad.
It's incredible. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's vile, and I mean that as a compliment. Yeah. Well, that's it for me.
All right, I am going to recommend a show as well. I've been watching Impractical Jokers recently. which actually served as some very recent inspiration for me, actually. It's been a while since I caught up on the show. Man, it is just so funny. Like, some of the punishments, like, I always root for Sal to not be the biggest loser, and I feel like I really should be doing that with Murr, because, like, Murr always gets the worst punishments. Again, still very, very funny. I think it's seeing like a weird resurgence thanks to TikTok and Instagram Reels recently. So, yeah, Impractical Jokers. That's my recommendation. Again, thank you for sticking with us this long. Thank you for entertaining us, suspending your disbelief, even perhaps. And as always,
keep on grappling.
Grappling.
perfect as always.